season.
Yo, hunting season, the time is near. Laborium life, we're drawing swords anywhere. Yo, the heat is on
one another.
That's right.
Now let's see what righteousness is. Deuteronomy 6:25.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 25.
Read.
And it shall be our righteousness,
And it shall be our righteousness, read,
if we observe to do all these commandments before the Most High our power,
Read.
as he hath commanded us.
So righteousness is to keep the commandments, right? So being good is keeping the law, right? Which are the commandments. Being righteous is keeping the commandments, which is the law. Now let's see what the truth is. Give me Psalms 119, verse 142.
The book of Psalms chapter 119 and verse 142.
Read.
Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness.
Read.
And thy law is the truth.
Thy law is the truth. So what's the commonality? The law and the commandments. That's the spirit that we have to be moving in, brother. Right? If you're not moving in that spirit, then you don't really love your brother. You don't really want the best for your people. They do this Black Lives Matter, but guess what? Are any of them keeping the law? Are they seeking to be righteous in the eyes of the Most High? They're not seeking to do that. Because if they was, it would be a difference. That's why the difference between the righteous Israelite and the wicked Israelite is starting to become clearer and clearer each and every day. Because when you start to keep these commandments, you start to increase in wisdom. And our people who continue wanting to deal with folly, they're going to stay in their foolishness. And the line is going to start to become very clear. And then you have to choose what side you want to be on. Do you want to continue to stay on that side, or you want to come on this side with the brothers? Because as you can see, we just like you, right? You probably older than us, of course. But guess what? We all was brought up in this truth, right? We learned that we were sinners, we repented for it, and now we out here teaching our people to do the same. Because that's what the Most High commands of us. Give me the book of Matthew chapter 16, verse 25, right? But I'm going to show you the process, right, in a compacted way, right? What took place for all of us to be standing up here. Read.
The book of Matthew chapter 16 and verse 25.
Read.
For whosoever will save his life,
read,
shall lose it.
Read.
And whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it.
We found our life. Because this is what we're supposed to be doing. As Israelites, this is how you're supposed to live your life. Teaching your people, serving the Most High God. Treating each other with love and long suffering and meekness and lowliness. The life that we was living before, we threw it away. It's in the garbage somewhere. And guess what? Sometimes it might try to come back up, we suppress it right back down.
That's right.
Because we ain't dealing with it. We know we ain't got nothing for it. Because now guess what? We can see the same thing going on with our people who's not in this truth. So if you want to see what your life used to look like on the other side, all you got to do is just look at our people, because we all go through the same things, right? Our people are sick. So when you sick, right, there's certain steps. First, you start to have symptoms. You're like, dang, something's wrong with me. When you looked at the symptoms that's happening with the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, man, we all in impoverished neighborhoods. Our family structures are broken. We strung out on drugs, right? Whether it be pharmaceutical or whether it be in streets. Right? We have hate towards our brother. Why are all these symptoms? Why are all these problems in our community? Give me Deuteronomy 28:15.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15.
Read that.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy power, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So the Most High said that if we didn't listen to him, all of these curses was going to come upon thee. Before we get that, give me Mark 2 and 17. Give me Mark 2 and 17. Because like I said, our people are sick, and I use that word, right? Because the next series of scriptures that I'm going to go into is going to kind of be how we need to nurse our people back to health. Read that.
The book of Mark chapter 2 and verse 17.
Read.
When Yahweh heard it, he said unto them,
Read.
They that are whole,
read,
have no need of the physician.
If you whole, if you good, you in good health, you don't need to go to the doctor, right? Read.
But they that are sick, I came not to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance.
Exactly, right? I might not have to go over with this brother here, the whole scriptures, because guess what? He's already keeping the laws. He's already chose to be righteous. But we need to go to the sick. We need to go to the sinners of our people. And that's why we out here, right? So now back to the scripture in Deuteronomy 28, right? Those are the symptoms, right? So now you come in, right? We're like physicians out here. right? We notice, our people, we see the symptoms, right? We see all of these bad things happen to them. Why? We have to identify the problem. Because we broke the curses, right? That's as simple as that. It's because we broke the curses. Now, in order to identify, right, the wrong things that we're doing, we need to use the law. I'm gonna prove that. Give me Romans 7:7. Give me Romans 7:7.
The book of Romans chapter 7 and verse 7, read. What shall we say then? Is the law sin?
Is the law sin? It's because, just because is the law something that makes us sinful? No, it makes us righteous. Read.
Yahweh forbid.
The Most High forbids that anybody utter that. Read.
Nay, I had not known sin, but by the law.
We would not have known, right, that it was wrong to fornicate unless the law told us. We wouldn't know that it was wrong to steal unless the law told us. We wouldn't know that it was wrong to celebrate 4th of July and all these pagan holidays unless the law told us. The law is our guidelines. The law is our right and wrong. You understand what I'm trying to say? As Israelites. Because the white man, he has his law, right? And in his law, the so-called black man is still 3/5 of a man, right? The so-called Mexican man can't come over here according to his law, right? He has his laws that govern his kingdom, right? And what his people do. But we're the children of the Most High God. The Most High God gave us laws, statutes, and commandments to guide us. And those laws, statutes, and commandments make us holy. They make us separate from everybody else. It's not a coincidence that the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American man is different than anybody else. It's because we God's chosen people. But we're not acting like it. Sometimes due to ignorance, but also due to rebelliousness. Now, you may have been ignorant, but now you know. Now you have a choice to either be, right, rebellious, right, or submissive unto the Most High God. You have to choose this day. Today is your day. You can now make that choice. You don't have to keep continuous living how you live, right? You can make a choice. You can make a choice and to live better, right? Let me get 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 9. So now we're using the law to identify certain things. So now we're going to bring out, right, a couple of things that we might be, right, as lost sheep, as people who don't know the truth. Read.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 9. Read. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High?
So now Paul is about to list, right, unrighteous things, right, unrighteous things that our people can be. Read.
Be not deceived. Neither fornicators.
Neither fornicators. So if you're a fornicator, guess what? You got to throw that away. Read.
Nor idolaters.
If you're dealing with idolatry, you got to get that away. Read.
Nor adulterers.
Right? Adulterers, right? This is like the diagnosis. Now we're trying to find out, okay, we see the issues, we see the problem, but now we need to diagnose what is it, right? Because every brother might not be the same. You might be dealing with idolatry, right? He might be dealing with fornication. He might be dealing with something else. So we now have to diagnose each and every one of our people, right, as to what they're dealing with. Because it's not to say that you're breaking every single law, because it's a law to keep your beard. So you're good right there. But what about the other things that you might not know are a sin? We have to try to diagnose that. We have to find out what's going on so that we can try to fix it. Read.
Nor effeminate.
Nor effeminate. Read.
Nor abusers of themselves. Read. With mankind. Nor thieves.
Read.
Nor covetous.
Right. So don't be a thief. Don't be covetous. Read.
Nor drunkards. Nor revilers.
Read.
Nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of the Most High.
Read.
As such were some of you.
Right. So as such were some of you. Right. Were meaning past tense. That could be a statement that's applied to you, brother. What's your name, if you don't mind me asking? Willis? Willie? All right, brother Willie. Right. That could have been you. I don't know what you're dealing with. Right. So I'm not going to call you out on it because I don't know what you're dealing with. But when you start to learn the law, you got to be convicted in yourself. You have to say, you know what? That's me, man. I got to change. Because the Most High commands you of that. Give me Acts 17 and 30. Give me Acts 17 and 30. Like I said, before today, you was ignorant. But now let's see that you're not ignorant no more, that you're an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, and you have to keep the Most High's laws. Let's see what's commanded of you now. Read.
The book of Acts chapter 17 and verse 30. Read that. In the times of this ignorance, the Most High winked at.
When you was ignorant before today, when you committed certain sins, the Most High overlooked them. He said, you don't know no better, right? You don't know no better. Read.
But now,
right now, today, right? Read.
Commandeth all men everywhere to repent.
So that's your commandment. It's not a suggestion, right? It's not up for vote. The Most High is commanding that you repent from today because now you know better, right? We have a school up in Broward. 2937 West Broward Boulevard. We have Sabbath service every Saturday from 12 to 3 p.m. That is where we learn the laws of God. Because this is a process. I don't want you to think, right, that any of us is Superman and we was able to throw away all of our sins in one day. Right? Hey, if a brother is able to do that, all praises to the Most High. But after living, how old are you? How old are you? 59? 59 years of your life. You've been living in sin. And I expect in one day for you to be, right, as white as snow, as clean as snow. That's not realistic. But I do expect you to try to make an effort. Because we are the living examples, right, of young black men who was able to come out, because we could say, man, listen, we got a bunch more life to live. You see what I'm trying to say? So, brother, you come. All right, come around to the front. Come around to the front so we can get it on camera. No pressure. No pressure. Talk to me. Okay. Okay.
All the stuff you talk about, I done been through, I done changed my life. I tell young brothers, but it's better for you to myself because God loves glory. God didn't love me, God was good a long time ago. I was learning, I was born, but God chastised me and put me in prison because he loved me.
Right.
So,
Most High chastise who he loves.
and I honor God, I pray everything, and I walk in his way. What I'm trying to tell you is that God's word is in you. You feel me? And I respect everybody. You feel me? And I do good to everybody. I try to know, and I try to make good things come back to me.
It's all right to 37 as
What
well.
goes around comes around. So I try to live this, you know what I'm saying?
Right. So now let me ask you. You say you know you're an Israelite, right? You started to walk in the Most High's law, statutes, commandments, but are you trying to do it by yourself? Are you congregating with your people?
You can't do it by yourself.
Right. So now that's what I'm asking. I didn't know this, right? So now let me backtrack and say, do you have a congregation to go to? Do you have other brothers who you able to get around and have a brotherhood with and build up in the spirit?
I got my brothers, my Jamaican brothers out here, and we all we talk about all kinds of stuff.
Right.
I got my boys, brothers with me too. See?
So today on the Sabbath day, right? Do you have a place to go and congregate? Because let me get that first.
I like to come over there with y'all. I bring my brothers over there.
All right, let me read this scripture real quick. Read that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 37, and verse 12, read, but be continually with a godly man.
Be continually with the God of man. I spend more time around these brothers than I do my own family. Read.
Whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Most High.
Whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Most High. Because you know what? I know one thing. I can't go around none of these brothers doing no foolishness. Or else I'm in the hot seat. And I don't want to be in the hot seat. Right? I don't want to be in the hot seat.
I was locked up for
Right, investigation. Right.
Right.
I see y'all, we all say the prayer, the Lord is different.
Right. Well, we speaking in the Hebrew tongue. Because if we say we Hebrew Israelites, we got to speak some type of the language.
I understand that, but the language, like, when y'all pray, it's different than the way we pray.
Now, of course, every brother is growing up different, right? So there might be differences in operations. But nonetheless, if you teaching, right, that salvation is of the Jews through the law, statutes, and commandments, and the faith in the Mashiach Yahweh, who the word, and he called Jesus Christ, I don't have a problem with you. Because that's what it is. Brothers might have a different way of doing it, but as long as the message is the same, we good. That's why even the Christian pastors, even though they talk smooth, you know why we got a problem with them? Because they're not teaching the law. They're not teaching the truth. I don't care about how smooth and how nice you do it. Are you teaching the truth? Because if you're not, this is what's happening. Give me Jeremiah 23 and 1.
That's right. Bring that out.
Give me Jeremiah 23 and 1. Let me show you what's really going on in that building. And you know what's crazy? Just like, hey, we eat beef, right? Them cows, they got to get slaughtered, right? They got to get cooked. But guess what? But no, this is the point that I'm trying to make. When the cows going into that slaughterhouse, they have enough sense to know, they trying to run the other way, right? But they got the conveyor belt that's continuing to bring them forward. So now, read this. Read this.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, and verse 1. Read. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture.
So that's what is being done in the church. So if you know that if you go in there, you're going to be destroyed and scattered, why would you go there? Right? Why would you go to pastor who's seeking to destroy you and to scatter you? That's not what he's supposed to be doing. Let me show you what the Most High, let me show you how the Most High is overturning that. Jeremiah 3:15. Jeremiah 3:15.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 15.
Read.
And I will give you pastors according to mine heart.
Read.
Which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
That's what the Most High is out here sending us brothers to do. Because the pastors want to destroy you and scatter you. He said, you know what? I'm going to give you pastors according to my heart, who's going to feed you with knowledge and wisdom. That's good. You're supposed to, listen, you learn, you're supposed to teach somebody else. Right? Give me Matthew 5 and 16. Give me Matthew 5 and 16. And then after that, brother, I'm going to just go over a few commandments that you probably learned, but you probably fell off. You know what I'm saying? You probably didn't take them as serious, or you probably did them for a while, and then you kind of fell off. We're going to go over a couple of those, all right? Read that.
The book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 16. Read. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works, and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
So when you do those good works, you glorify the Most High. It's not about us. It's about the Most High. You understand? We keep reading?
Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets.
Right.
I am come not to destroy, but to fulfill.
So Christ didn't come to destroy the law like the so-called pastors would have you think. Right? He come to fulfill the things that was written about him in the scriptures. Right? Him coming to take away the sins of Israel, that was written about in the scriptures. And you know what? Christ was a very courageous man. Because imagine if you knew your mission, right, was to die for your people. Right? Sometimes you might be like, oh, I don't know, Most High. You know, I want to live. But that's good. But now, guess what? The way how you, give me, I believe it's John 15:13. John 15:13. If I'm not mistaken. Let me show you this one. And this is what we take honor in. John 15:13. Come on.
The book of John chapter 15 verse 13.
Read that.
Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
That's what we're doing, man. We're laying down our lives. Man, sometimes people want to come out here, they want to fight us, they want to pull out guns on us, right? Police probably looking to lock us up, but guess what? We still come out here day in and day out. Because we will lay down our lives for our people. Because that's the greatest love that we can show, right? Now, you might not have the gift to be out here and teach, but you know what you can do? You can grow up your family in the truth. You can spread it to your friends, right? Because we may have two different offices, right, in the Most High's army. But that doesn't diminish anything that you're doing. Because the Most High is not unrighteous to forget our works, man. Read. You want to go to listen, no matter where you go, give me Job 9 and 24.
That's right.
Give me Job 9 and 24. I don't care, listen, you could go 50 meters down below the earth. The white man's still right there on his computer, trying to figure out how to oppress you. Read.
The book of Job chapter 9 and verse 24. Read. The earth, the what? The earth, the what? The earth,
The whole entire earth, brother, read.
is given into the hand of the wicked.
It's given into the hand of the wicked. No matter where you go, the wickedness is there. You go into that woods, you know what they're going to do? They're going to burn down the woods. Looking for some type of oil or something. They're going to burn down everything. And then there you get caught up in the fire thinking you were safe. There's nowhere you can run from that, man. There's nowhere you can run from that.
Off the grid.
Right off the grid. Give me wisdom of Solomon 16 and 12. Right? So like I said, we was talking about the healing. You see what I'm trying to say? It's good that you know that you're an Israelite, man. Because that's where your strength lies. When we didn't know that and we was acting like niggas, the white man was laughing at us. They don't even know how strong they is, man. Look at them. They really believe that they the base people of the earth. But I'm going to show you who the base people of the earth in a minute. Read.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon chapter 16 and verse 12. Read. For it was neither herb nor mollifying plaister that restored them to health.
Read.
But thy word.
But thy what?
But thy word.
But thy what?
But thy word.
Just like when you get sick, right? You go to, right? If this world was righteous, when you went to the doctor, you would have received some type of herb.
To the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments.
Read.
Throughout their generations. That they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
So the Most High commanded us to have fringes in the borders of our garments, right? You can either have these or you can have these right here, right? So nonetheless, this is part of our attire. When you walk around and another brother see you with these on and he got them on too, you know what y'all gonna say? Shalom, bro, right? But if you don't have them on, I don't have them on, you don't know nothing. You just still think we two regular dudes. You could buy these from anywhere. If you go on Amazon or if you go on anything online and just say, you know, fringes, right? Israelite fringes or whatever, you'll see a picture of them come up. right? You got the ZZs, right? That's what those are called. So you could get them from anywhere, to be honest, right? But this is part of your daily attire, right? So that's something that you.
Back in the days that we used to cut our shorts,
Just 22.
and then cut the shorts and the fringe be all dangling and they'll be.
Yeah, so you know, we were, you know, listen, at the end of the day, we're supposed to rehearse the righteous acts. Let's say you didn't have a dime to be able to get fringes like this. Like you said, you could so I seen some brothers draw with a marker, right? A blue strip, and then cut the bottom of their shirt. Hey, it is what it is. But we know that you're trying to keep the commandments. And that's a good look. Read that.
The book of Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 1, read. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, read, concerning the feasts of the Most High, which he shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts.
Read.
6 days shall work be done.
So the Most High is about to go into the Sabbath day, which is today. Sabbath starts from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. So this is Saturday morning, so the Sabbath is still in effect. Read.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest, and holy convocation.
Read.
Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Most High in all your dwellings.
So the Most High said, listen, on this day, it's a holy convocation, which means a separate gathering, right? In one day, our people going to be all gathered, right, for July 4th. You want to know why? Because the so-called white man tells them to. On July 4th, you gather with your family, y'all pop fireworks, right? And y'all have the grill going. But guess what? There's something called Passover, and it has an appointed time. So where everybody at then? Right. July 4th is an appointed time. Our people flock to it. But the Passover has an appointed time. Right. So why they not there? I'm confused. Exactly, because guess what? Who is July 4th really for? It's for them. It has nothing to do with us. Right. But guess what? Who's the Passover only for? Us. That's the crazy part, bruh. They'll rather indulge in the Gentiles, right? Ungodly feast days, rather than their own righteous ones. Right. Give me Jeremiah 10:1. But let's see what the Most High said about that. Let's see what the Most High said we should do when it comes to the ways of the Gentiles, man. Right? So the Sabbath day, you got to get back on that. Your fringes, you got to get back on that. You keeping your beard, that's good. Let me ask you, do you eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster? You don't eat no seafood? Okay, that's good. So we're going to cross that off. What about the pork? No pork. All right, good. We good on that. Let me get that.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Read. Hear ye the word which the Most High speaketh unto you.
Hey, what's going on, brother, man? You got 2 minutes? You got 2 minutes to chop it up with us real quick, man. We teaching our people, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that you are God's chosen people. You are the true Israelites. And God is calling us back to keep his commandments and laws, man. If we want out of this hellish captivity, if you don't want to have to be walking everywhere that you go, if you want to be living up in a high rise, man, having the best food, right, having servants, you got to start repenting, because guess what? That's the way that the kingdom of heaven is going to come in. They tell you got to die to go to heaven. Listen, that's false, man. That's false. You got to live by the commandments to get to that heaven, man. Right? So back to you, brother. So would you say is anything else that you're struggling with? Because I want to help you. Let me know what you're struggling with. But what? And I know sometimes some things are embarrassing. You don't have to tell me those things if you don't want to. But I'm just saying, if it's something that you're dealing with that you know might not want to confess to nobody, I get it. But what is it something like specifically? Give me something specifically that you.
I know that that's the way that God separated me from you.
What's the love of that? Matthew 24:12. Matthew 24:12. I'm gonna get a scripture that shows you that. Read that.
The book of Matthew chapter 24 verse 12.
Read.
And because iniquity shall abound,
because sin is gonna abound, right? It's gonna be so abundant amongst our people. Read.
the love of many shall wax cold.
That's why so many people turn our back on each other, right? And also because of this curse. Give me Deuteronomy 28:54.
I know that it's a reason why people turn their back on me, because I used to be telling them about Yahweh, so they call me the devil.
Okay.
I know that Yahweh separated me from him because he's away from me. I know that I slept in the tent.
Right.
Because I know the trials and tribulations that we've gone through, man. I've been through hell.
Read that for me real quick.
The book of Matthew chapter 10 and verse 34. Read. Think not that I come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and the man's foes shall be they of his own household.
That's why that happens, brother. A lot of us, man, we at odds with our mom, with our dad, with our brother, with our sister, for one reason, though. But guess what, though? All that happens because you changed your life. Now, guess what? Christ spoke about that. So,
Because you don't speak English. So.
all right, come. So even though, right, it's a hard thing to deal with because you want to be with your family. We family people, man. We love our people. But guess what? You got to choose. Is it you going to follow Amashak Yahweh in the Most High, or you going to be with your people?
Stop right there. It was her following me, and I thought it was somebody stopping me. I just realized now she messed up.
Right.
But she told me she was 18 and all
Right.
that. I said, hey, it's cool.
All right, because guess what? In the end, she can't give you no reward, but the Most High can. This is my last scripture because we're going to teach that brother right here. Read.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 13.
Read that.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh.
Fear God, read,
And keep his commandments.
and keep his commandments. If you're not fearing God, you're not keeping his commandments, you're not going to make it to the kingdom of heaven, man. Don't let the pastor lie to you and tell you all you need to do is call on sweet Jesus after you've been living a whole life of sin. We out here to teach our people the truth, man, because we love them. Read.
For this is the whole duty of man.
For this is the whole duty of man. This is your true job. I'm not worried about your 9 to 5. I'm not worried about your side hustle. Your true job as an Israelite, so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, Jamaicans, Hispanics, Dominicans, Haitians, y'all job is to keep the commandments of God. And with that, I want to say shalom to the house of Israel and Israel alone. Kwame Sharala.
Hunting from a distance. Long range, that I will hit you from distance. Yo, accuracy with no missing. I'm feeling like Jonathan.